And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about reflective supervision. And let me go to the next slide here for you guys. My name is Tracy Walters, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm the state coordinator for infant and early childhood mental health. And I am seated at the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services, and I am in the Office of Child and Family Services with the Part C team, and also have some school-based mental health responsibilities as well. So when we're looking at reflective supervision, what we really want to be thinking about is defining the terms and what that looks like. So when we think about it, we're looking at it being a form of ongoing professional development for our practitioners in early intervention that supports infant and early childhood practitioners in their work. And it guides them in providing services focused on children's needs and also the practitioner's needs. How it relates to our SSIP strategy. This is one of the things we really want to be focused in on during our work. And so what that looks like for the SSIP is it will embed and it will build reflective supervision to build capacity to support all of our providers and practitioners in early intervention, including our infant mental health endorsement candidates. The SSIP strategy addresses the simmer in 3 parts. So if we look at 3 big buckets, we're going to be looking at reflective practices, collaboration, and regularity. And so why is this important? The simmer is the state identified measurable result, and it's improving positive social emotional skills, including social relationships. Reflective supervision addresses the simmer by helping to ensure a sufficient, sustainable, and highly effective workforce that can work alongside our families to support children's social and emotional development. And as many of you know, we have been hard at work in many work groups looking at that social emotional development from many angles. Reflective supervision supports practitioners in processing their work with children and families by making meaning of the experiences that we're having in those relationships through the course of our work on a daily basis. And it's to ensure that an approach that allows a non-biased, clear focus on social emotional development of the children that we're working with. The nurturing, supportive relationship that develops between a supervisor and a practitioner serves as a model for the relationships forming between the practitioner and the family and between the parent and a child. So really what we're looking at in this situation is a parallel process. Reflection really means stepping back from the immediate, intense work experience that you guys face in your everyday work and really looking at the hands-on work, taking the time to wonder with each other and your supervisors about what the experience really means. So it's kind of taking that step back from the paperwork and the note taking and the busyness that can happen in our minds to really reflect on what happened in that experience with the child and family during the day. The concept of collaboration or the teamwork, as we would think of it, emphasizes sharing responsibility and control of power. So it's a voice of neutrality that we're all working alongside of each other in the work that we do. And it's derived from knowledge about children and families and the field, and then how you show up in the work that you are doing with children and families every day. Neither reflection nor collaboration is really complete without having this system of regularity and consistency in the work. We really have to have consistencies to really build trusting relationships with our colleagues in the work that we're doing, and also that regularity and consistency with the children and families to really build those relationships, to really do a deep dive into the work that is going to be most meaningful for that child in reaching their outcomes. How does this strategy fit with the current EI practices in Virginia? It supports collaborative and reflective practices to support all of our providers and practitioners. It focuses on the parallel relationships within the early intervention framework. And it supports best practices in early intervention and infant mental health. And it supports retention in the early intervention system. What is our work group considering? So this has been a lot of fun working with our work group. We've had some really compassionate and and really energized folks working with us and looking at this work and what this could mean for early intervention. So it is supporting a pilot of reflective supervision is what we're considering, and that would be occurring in 2 localities at this point. That would be pilot phase 1, which would take place in Chesapeake, and pilot phase 2, which would be in our central area. We would be looking at structure and scheduling needed for the process in these areas, identified reflective supervisors for this process, what the role of the local system manager would be in the process, what the role of the systems administrators would be in the process, and then recommended practices. Sorry, my slides went backwards. And then recommended practices for our professionals in using a pilot for reflective supervision. You can stay informed with keeping up with the pilot and the work that the reflective supervision group is doing through the monthly ITCVA update. Ann Breger has been really wonderful about keeping us all up to date about the work groups in that document. And then you can also look at the SSIP page on the ITCVA.online. Okay, well, thank you guys. Thanks for joining us today. And if you have any other questions for me, then you can certainly contact me by email. And I look forward to hearing any questions or thoughts or reflections that you might have about the ongoing work.